Welcome everybody to another episode of Hey Diddle Diddle. It's Andrew the Cat and Steven the Fiddle as we try to figure out why millionaires and billionaires want to go to the moon. Wait, is it Thursday, Steven? Oh, I forgot we were recording this today. This is HomeKit Insider, everyone. I'm sorry. I swapped my days around. Anyway, how you doing, Mr. Sparkleface?
Wow. Well, for our wonderful listeners, because you guys showed out and got over 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we should figure out how many, I didn't even think to look, how many we actually have right now at this very moment as we speak. But, okay, here we go. 1,000. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh, I went to our YouTube channel and a previous episode of HomeKit Insider began playing automatically, and I heard your voice, but it was not your voice. It's very confusing. Okay, drum roll please. 1,070 subscribers. You guys are amazing. And so this morning, before we began recording, I did it. I had red and green glitter, eco-friendly, vegan, environmentally friendly glitter, and you've probably seen the video. I have poured it onto my face. And let me see if I can get some close-ups here. See if the camera will get. See that right there? And it's all over there.
I'm going to say it looks awful.
Yeah. So it is all there. Thank you all. Hope you enjoy the glitter beard. It is everywhere. Like, it's now, this was probably a bad idea, but I poured it in my beard. I did it outside. So, I'm not going to pour glitter indoors. But I came back in and I had planned to eat a bowl of Magic Spoon cereal. They are not a sponsor. I just enjoy their cereal. And as I began eating the cereal, I realized there's glitter in the cereal. Like, it's just everywhere. There's glitter in the O's.
Don't worry, it's eco-friendly. So,
well, I actually did have some solace knowing, like, okay, I guess if it's biodegradable, if I eat it, I'll be okay.
Yeah, this is fine.
We'll find out, because I did. I did eat it, and now I'm even looking. My microphone has little red and green glitters on it right here. My brand new MacBook Pro. Thankfully, I have Apple Care because I don't know if glitter is going to get under the keys. I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. So there you go. Happy holidays and happy HomeKit Insider subscribers. It happened.
Now, as a glitter aficionado now,
yes.
Does the eco-friendly glitter, how does it, in person, does it really have the same oomph as like real glitter? Like, how does it compare?
Well, I was a little worried because it did not seem to be sticking as much. But apparently, glitter does not stick to hard surfaces like my technology, thankfully, except for this microphone, like windscreen. It's going to stick to that all over the place. But like my Apple Watch, I was able to it came off very quickly. And so I was afraid. I was like, oh no, like I'm not going to get any glitter on my face. So I literally, as you'll see in the video, poured the glitter onto my beard. And thankfully, it sticks to the skin underneath the hair. And that will probably be there forever. I will probably die with glitter on my face as I'm lying in the coffin. So, yeah, it's still stuck. The eco-friendly glitter works just fine. And I've already, my daughter walked out and she was like, why do I have glitter on my leg? Like, she literally just walked out of her bedroom and already saw glitter on her leg. I have no idea how it got there in a span of seconds. But it did. And so here we are. It's the glitter time.
You were going to be sleeping outside of the house.
Well, now that I have done this, listeners, you can help us again. You can keep subscribing to the HomeKit Insider YouTube channel, but you can also tell me, I'm going to Google it too, are there methods for removing glitter? Do I need to vacuum my face? I thought about that. Does that work? Because washing
just
does
suck
not
on
work.
a Dyson.
Because I held my arm under the faucet because I was like, all right, let me get some of this glitter off my arm. And when it gets wet, it just sticks more.
Yeah, it tracks.
It's just so my arm, I put this arm in the, under the water and it, nothing, it's solidified. It's cemented to my arm. It is not going anywhere.
You just glued it to yourself.
Yeah, so basically, if I was a superhero or supervillain, I'm part glitter. Might be my origin story. So anyway, that's the glitter. There you go. You're welcome, everyone.
Audience, Steven's wife says if we hit 2,000 subscribers, he's allowed to come back in the house. So if you want to help Steven get back indoors, During the
Yes,
winter
yes.
months, you can go ahead and subscribe.
Right. I mean, I'm sleeping on the grass right now. That is my response. I had to do it. So
At
anyway,
least you
hope
have a
enjoy.
pillow made of glitter, so
Oh my goodness! I immediately threw away the remaining glitter from the bags outside. I said, I'm not bringing this glitter back in the house. I don't want any of it. So it is sticking to my Apple Watch band pretty good. Like this fluoroelastomer is like, I don't know. It's not leaving it. Even like me rubbing it, it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. So I'm a little scared. I'll be honest. So anyway. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed that. But I don't know what's happening, Andrew. Usually the end of the year, we get to December, and there's not much news. But this year, that seems totally opposite. I mean, Apple's releasing software updates with new features. We're getting HomeKit news from different companies. So we got to hit the news. We will not get to a category of HomeKit today because there's just so much to talk about. Andrew's got some reviews. And then we also have a ton of listener questions. We're probably going to do that big episode in the next couple of weeks. So no HomeKit category. This episode, maybe we'll have to do the next one in January just because there's so much going on. So, well, let's get to it. You put in here Omnia blinds that they are ready to order. I assume this is a HomeKit blind thing. Tell me what's going on here.
yeah, so these are the Eve motion blinds, and it looks like, so Eve basically made the motor, and they partnered with a company that makes blinds and shades, and they put them together, and we have the Omnia blinds that we've talked about them. They work with Thread, HomeKit enabled, all that great stuff. And it looks like they are finally ready to order. So at the end of the year here, it looks like you can put your order in and get them custom made for your windows. Yes, I have an order in. So we're going to try these out. Thread enabled HomeKit shades. Sounds like something I am down for. So
That's awesome.
people can go ahead and order those now.
Yeah, that is awesome. So I'll be curious to know your experience too, because the two big ones, Omnia blinds and Hunter Douglas, I'm going to be deciding between those. I did actually order 2 Hunter Douglas ceiling fans for the new house already. We're trying to order stuff early and store it, and then looking like April we'll be moving into the new house. So we're still a few months away, but we wanted to secure
Well,
some
at
of
least
the
your
items.
wife will be. You might still be outside.
I must have
in the
been.
glitter.
I don't want to bring glitter into the new house, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I have to
You only have 4 months to get rid of it. That's not enough time.
maybe a pressure washer. I don't know.
Is there a doctor that can help with that?
It's a
You
glitterologist.
get them lasered off.
Yeah, glitterologist. But I ordered 2 Hunter Douglas ceiling fans. They with my own money because I'm excited to have a HomeKit ceiling fan. One will be in the bedroom, one in the living room. So excited for that. I'll put the model that I got here in the notes. I'll make a note for that. HomeKit Hunter fan. But yeah, and also come like February, the new house will have the framed out walls inside, and it will be my responsibility to then run cable all over the house. And so I'm going to document that and share with everybody how that's going to go. But I want Ethernet everywhere. I want Ethernet to my Apple TV boxes, by the TVs, obviously to my office where I'll be working and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'll document that. That'll be interesting. Well, this next piece of news, Andrew, tell me if we have talked about this before. I couldn't remember, but the home control menu app for macOS. Have we talked about this one before?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Don't know.
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight it one more time. This is a Mac app that lives in the menu bar. I think it's like $10 if you want to get it. But it basically puts your entire home and control over all of your devices and scenes right in the menu bar of your Mac. And so I got it. It was $10, and everything, you give it access to your home network, and everything's just there. You can even change color temperature for individual lights. Obviously, you can change brightness, turn things on or off, and run your scenes. So it was pretty cool. If you want some quick access on your Mac, the home app is there. You can control it that way. But sometimes you just want to menu bar, click something real quick. And so this home control menu app is pretty cool for that. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about apps, Home Widgets, which we talked about on the show a few weeks ago, is available now.
Oh,
So people can go and download that app for their iPhone and iPad.
very cool. Home widgets. And now this is, you can build basically widgets that control devices or scenes, or how specific does it get?
Yep, pretty much. You can control devices, scenes, anything like that, and just throw them onto your home screen. And they got around Apple's kind of limitation on widgets by whenever you tap a scene, it essentially launches the app, runs the automation, and then goes back to your home screen in one motion. And it's very quick, so that way you don't lose your place. It's not Apple doesn't allow you to run commands fully from your lock screen or from your home screen, so it has to launch the app, run it, and then go back down. But it's fairly seamless, and I like it. And this is cool. The developer reached out and gave us some codes to give away to our audience. Yeah. So I don't want to play favorites with all the video folk all the time. So we're just going to put these codes up in the podcast show notes as well as the video. Whoever gets them, gets them. But yeah, so come Monday morning when you guys are all listening to this, or run to the codes. If you're quick enough, maybe you'll get one. If not, follow the link, try it out, and let us know what you think.
That's awesome. I was tempted, but I will not use one myself. I will buy the app. Because
somehow we have one last code.
Wait a minute.
It just disappeared.
Wait a minute. So yeah, dude, very cool. Thank you. What is the developer's name? Do we know? This is Home Widgets.
I do know, but I don't know.
Clement Marty.
That sounds correct.
Yes, I'm looking at his name on the App Store. He's got some other apps on there too. Very cool. Thank you, Clement, for giving us those codes and making a cool app. Very nice. Okay, I thought this was pretty cool. There was a video released by an iOS developer, Bastian Andelevsky. Again, pronunciation is not our forte all the time on this show. But Nick Teague on Twitter sent it to me, and this was kind of all over the place. But this iOS developer made kind of his own app that utilizes the U1, the ultra-wideband chip in the iPhone, with his HomeKit devices, and it does this wild thing where he can actually take his iPhone with the U1 chip, and because the U1 is pinpoint location accurate, he can point it at a light or a device, and the app, the screen, actually changed to the controls for that specific device just by pointing his iPhone at it. And he had color controls, dimmer, on, off, and he even went between two different lamps. He pointed his phone at one lamp, and you could see the app change to control that, pointed at another. He walked around his house. And I thought that was really cool, utilizing that U1 chip for home control, and it kind of makes your device, your iPhone, smarter as far as contextually. What is the iPhone, where are you pointed? What are you looking at physically in the real world? I thought that was really cool, and I do hope Apple utilizes the U1 chip more in the future, especially with kind of that occupancy stuff that we had talked about before. A lot of times motion in a room can vary. If you're sitting in a room working, there might not be a lot of motion, and a motion detector might not sense you. And if you have a setting where turn the lights off, if there's no motion, it would turn them off while you're working. And there are some occupancy sensors on the market, but I really feel like if Apple could do some kind of occupancy setting in HomeKit using the U1 chips in HomePod minis. Does the HomePod mini have U1? I think it does, right? Because you could do that handoff.
Yeah, it's the handoff. Yep.
Yeah, the HomePod mini has the U1. The iPhone has the U1. You have AirTag. Obviously, it has the U1 chip. That's the big feature there. I'd love to see those chips be utilized for this kind of stuff. And so it's a really cool video, and I'll link to it in the show notes. But did you get a chance to see that, Andrew?
Yeah, and do you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
I don't know if you ever saw this, but the 7 Hugs remote.
I remember you talking about that. Yes. I do remember that.
Yeah, so the original, it was, up and down story here, but the original company was, their first remote came out and it was very expensive. And one of the reasons why was because they were using, I don't know if it was ultra wideband, but they were using that specific location tracking for the remote. And you could put these little tags on your devices, throw it on your Ecobee thermostat, throw it in each of your Hue lights, and you could just point your remote at any of them and control it. It was basically a version of this, but it came out 5 or 6 years ago at least. It was super cool. I have it. I used it. It was awesome.
That's cool.
And then
You don't know where it went?
Always debating on, no, I'm debating on what I can...
what you could say, what's under embargo?
Well, that's the thing is, I can't, I don't know if it's under embargo anymore because I haven't heard from the company in a long, long time because they got purchased. So 7 Hugs, the company there, they got purchased for their, I don't know if it's like I think it's like their ultra wideband tech of that specific location precision stuff. So they get purchased for that. So the remote has been more or less like abandoned. So it looks like it might still be available on their website, but it's not available anywhere else. It's like sold through in Best Buy and Amazon and all that. So you can't really get it. It seems like they've abandoned the project.
Gotcha.
So they might have been reportedly close to having HomeKit support on this remote, but obviously that everything's been scuttled at this point. So that would have been neat. But what we've seen here, you don't even need Apple to do this because Apple has already enabled third-party support for the ultra-wideband. So technically someone could make little ultra-wideband chips and an app to go with that you could place around your home, pair, and then tie it to HomeKit commands, which seems like roughly what this developer did.
Yeah.
But it's a really neat thing. It would be neat to see it maybe built in directly into the Home app. But yeah, you don't even need the Home app to make this, or Apple to make this reality. Just a third-party app and some ultra-wideband chips that you can use with your phone.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I will say, I know you poo-pooed my Apple TV remote silicone case with the AirTag slot, but I will say my kids misplaced it the other day, and it was very convenient to be able to go to the Find My app and make that AirTag make a sound, and we were able to locate the remote hidden in the sofa cushions of the living room. So it would be ideal if the Apple TV remote just had it built in, have a little speaker, have a U1 chip in there, but for right now, the little AirTag case, it did its thing.
I agree. We lose our twos, but it's hideous. I hate it.
I actually like the ergonomics.
Apple to build it
it's a rounded silicone. Like it helps.
Get out of here.
Maybe it's the glitter talking. The glitter's getting to my head. That's what it is.
Don't worry. The glitter's going to be stuck to that remote for the next lifetime, too.
Oh.
It's silicone. It's going to grip every piece of lint and hair and glitter that it comes in contact with.
Andrew, I'm really worried about...
Why did you use that? You opened the Find My app to do it. Why didn't you just ask Siri, like, where's the Apple TV remote? Because you can do that. Just say, where's the Apple TV remote? And it should ring. You don't even need to open it out.
I forgot about that. That's true. I will say, my oldest son, we got him a set of AirPods 3, the new AirPods, which supposedly have the Find My feature, and he regularly loses them, as children do.
Sure.
And he knows about that, and so he asks Siri all the time where his AirPods are. But, I don't know, Find My on AirPods is, like, really bad. Like, it rarely actually makes the sound. Like, they just don't do anything. And even... I can see, because we're in the same iCloud family, I can see his devices in the Find My app, and I have the same controls to play sound or find, and it's just not consistent. Even when they're charged in the house, like nearby, I don't know, they just don't do it. Have you ever done that for AirPods and actually find it works?
Yeah, I've used it pretty regularly, and I haven't had issues. Even my wife's second gen AirPods, like the just AirPods with wireless charging case, and they're pretty old now. She regularly loses them, and we've used Find My to track them down. I mean, it's obviously better on the AirPods 3 because they have improved Find My support.
Right.
But
okay, well,
I don't know. I mean, it's still kind of.
They
need a speaker on the case itself, I feel like.
Yes, I agree.
That would help. And they have the rumors say AirPods Pro 2nd gen.
Okay. Well, we'll see. All right. Next piece of news.
I think the new ones will have that U1 for that.
Oh, yeah. That would be nice.
That would make sense.
That would be nice. Yeah. Because no AirPods have the U1 right now. Right? Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah. All right. So the next piece of news, I want to connect it to a second piece, but Yeelight has announced that they are supporting Matter, which is the connected smart home standard. We've talked about it on this show before, which is interesting. They've announced support, but I want to connect this to a larger story. This was actually a big story from The Verge. Their HomeKit and smart home reporter, Jennifer Toohey, I believe. Toohey? I'm not sure what it is. Jennifer Toohey is their reporter, but she actually had a big article talking about Matter, it coming next year, supposedly. And they had a special podcast episode where she was on it, and Tim Biff from Eve, which has actually been on our show, was on the Verge podcast as well, talking about Matter. I thought it was a fascinating article and podcast. I listened and read both. And, they were talking about how Matter is the grand hope of all this smart home connected stuff. And everyone's very bullish. Dieter Bohn from The Verge and Jennifer, they are all, pretty much looking forward to Matter, thinking it's going to solve a lot of these things. A couple interesting points I saw was Matter is basically going to be iterated as a standard, adding features and devices over time. And so when it does launch, it'll be Matter version like 1.0, and they have some features and devices coming in 1.1. They said cameras specifically for the Matter support, the smart home standard, is not coming till version 2.0 of Matter. No timeline on when that would come. So cameras specifically are not included, and notably that Jennifer from The Verge contacted Amazon about the Ring doorbells and Ring cameras, and Amazon said they have basically no plans right now. One reason could be that Matter has no support for cameras, so even if Amazon wanted to, they couldn't. But I do think it's interesting that Amazon didn't even say, we look forward to supporting it, or, we look forward to investigating. Like, Amazon's just like a flat, like, we're not supporting it right now.
We have no plans. Yeah. That's such a
we have no
awful answer.
Because so many companies right now, again, like Yeelight that we just talked about, Eve is literally on the podcast of The Verge and ours, all talking about they're going to be supporting Matter when it comes out. Everyone's very excited to do it. And I said on a past episode, I think that Ring camera, I think Amazon's going to hold on to it pretty tightly. Also, those Amazon Basics light switches that Amazon just released like a couple weeks ago, no announcement for Matter support, or that they would be not even updated. Like, they just no Matter support.
Nope.
So I thought it was interesting. It was a fascinating article. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put the link in show notes. But I'm excited to see if it comes. Like, I'm still one of those people of like, I want to see it come out before we really like dive into it and pick it apart. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts on the whole Matter thing?
I have a lot of unanswered questions that no one seems to know.
Right.
Which is like what controllers are going to look like with, Matter. Like, we'll have the HomeKit app, but what about third-party ones? And even right now, Matter is only technically in beta with iOS 15. Like, it's not even fully available yet. So there's a lot of stuff like that. And then one of my biggest concerns was how it's going to work with certification. Like, something like HomeKit can take a ridiculously long time for each device to get certified. And here we have the standard isn't even finalized yet, and yet all these companies are able to pledge it on day one that they're going to have support. How? How is that certification going to go so quickly? Is that enough time? Are things going to be secure enough? It's just a lot of things. And then when I reach out to these companies and ask them, they're like, oh, well, the organization has a lot of experience certifying things because they're built on Zigbee or something, or Z-Wave, one of the two. So I think it's like the Zigbee Alliance. But I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't like necessarily like qualm all my fears. And are we going to have separate HomeKit certification, which is more of an Apple specific question? Like, right now, everything has to go through a specific HomeKit certification. So now is there going to be like a HomeKit certification that's the utmost of secure, and then you got a Matter certification that's right below that? We don't know, and we don't have confirmation on anything yet. And this came out, I believe, after our last episode, but it was like right after we recorded or something. But they announced that Matter was working on likely with Matter 2. So we knew cameras were coming in 2.0. We knew that was a thing. It's right now for like less data intensive stuff. But it looks like they're going to be working on camera support in 2.0, which we knew, and then audio support. So they might have like a universal casting solution.
Right.
So we got Chromecast for audio, and we have like AirPlay for audio. Is that going to make things ridiculously confusing? So now it'll be like Matter certified for audio, and then where does AirPlay fit into that? And then also, is AirPlay a second standard, or will iPhone natively support both? And like, you can AirPlay to your Mac. Are you going to use like Matter to go to your TV and AirPlay to your Mac?
Andrew, just stop. It's too much.
I'm telling you, like, look, I'm excited for Matter, but there's a lot of stuff we don't know, and no one seems to be able to answer them. So we will see how this all plays out. I mean, it sounds like, just because Matter is beta in iOS 15, we're going to have to get some big update from Apple officially supporting this. So maybe then they'll actually update all of their guidelines on HomeKit and their certification stuff. It just seems like too many unanswered questions. It makes me nervous when this is so soon to launching. And I will say, I'm heading to CES in just a couple weeks. I will be pressing as many of these people as I can on getting some answers to this stuff, because I'm curious. I don't know where this is heading.
Well, that was exhausting, and I'm not excited about Matter anymore. Now just like forget about it all. Which It was interesting in the podcast for The Verge, they were talking about, all these companies announcing support for Matter, but the Matter standard has not even been finalized yet. And they're still talking about probably frequencies and technologies. And it's like, I don't know how a company can promise support for any current product when the standard has not even been decided on by like the Matter committee. So the question came up in the podcast, like, what should you do now when you're buying devices? Should you wait? And for me personally, I'm going to buy devices for HomeKit and HomeKit Secure Video when it comes to camera. And I'm, again, like Andrew says, don't buy products today with a software promise for tomorrow. Buy the product that you want today. And so for my new house, this is like, I was wondering about Matter because I'm going to be buying a lot of smart devices. I was looking into light switches, and I'm not going to be buying stuff with the hopes of Matter. I'm going to be buying stuff with HomeKit in mind, HomeKit first.
HomeKit will fully support Matter. So if you're buying something with fully baked in HomeKit support, whether or not that device supports Matter by itself, they should be able to talk to one another. At least that's the way it seems right now.
Maybe.
But I agree completely with you. Like, not only can they how can they pledge support for a product, but on top of that, how can they promise day one support? It's like when Matter launches, this product will be fully compatible with Matter. How are you guaranteeing you're going to get a certification done when the standard isn't even done yet? So just because Matter says they're going to get done in 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, when are they going to finally lock the standard and begin certification, and how are they going to get everyone through in time? I don't know.
Well, Andrew, that was exhausting. I don't want Matter anymore. It doesn't matter. No pun intended. I would rather put glitter in my beard again now than talk about Matter again. But we'll see. I mean, we will be covering it. I'm excited for Andrew to go to CES because I'm very curious what these companies, honestly say about it. Andrew, you need to drag some people in our room and hold a light over their head, interrogation style, and say, "What do you say about Matter?"
Seriously.
So anyway, after that, we need to take a break because we need to thank some friends. I need to get happy again. I need to talk about investing and Hunter Douglas because those are our friends on today's episode. First of all, Wealthfront is sponsoring this episode, and if you want to invest for the long term, maybe you're just getting into investing, or you want to be able to invest money and have confidence that people who know what they're doing are helping you invest, then you need to try Wealthfront. Maybe you also want to be like pro solar, or you want to put investments in technology. Wealthfront can help customize a portfolio that fits your needs. After you answer just a couple questions when you set up an account on their website, Wealthfront will build you a diversified portfolio of low-cost index funds in minutes. And you can actually get your first $5,000 invested and managed for free when you go to wealthfront.com/HomeKit. Again, you can also build your own portfolio with either clean energy funds, or maybe you'll want to put some crypto in there. You can do that as well. And they offer a socially responsible portfolio with a mix of funds around human rights, which is very cool. And best of all, Wealthfront is totally automated. They do all the trading, rebalancing, and they even help you lower your tax bill while you invest. It's trusted with over $27 billion in assets, and they help nearly 500,000 people build their wealth. I actually signed up for Wealthfront, and I use it myself, and I really like it. Their app is beautiful, and their website is great, very user-friendly, and so it's super easy to get started. So start building your wealth and get your first $5,000 managed for free for life when you go to wealthfront.com/HomeKit. That's wealthfront.com/HomeKit to start building your wealth. That link will also be in the episode description. You could just click it there. Wealthfront.com/HomeKit to get started today. Our thanks to Wealthfront for sponsoring the show. And they sponsored this show. They didn't even know that I was going to buy 2 of their fans with my own money. But Hunter Douglas, our friends at Hunter Douglas, sponsored this episode again. Not only do they do HomeKit ceiling fans, which is what I got, but of course they are known for these smart shades. Hunter Douglas, they have their innovative window shade designs, gorgeous fabrics, and the control system so advanced they can be scheduled to automatically adjust their position throughout the day. And you know that because they're HomeKit compatible. You can use it with home automations. Maybe you want to diffuse harsh sunlight. I'm actually in a temporary recording space right now, and so to diffuse the sunlight, I have a white sheet hanging over the window. Listen, that's like an animal I'm doing this thing. You need to get Hunter Douglas shades, and you can automate all that stuff. Plus, it has superior insulation. It can keep you warmer in winter, cooler in the summer, and you can have that Goldilocks moment when you walk into a room. You can just have it planned out perfectly and automate it all through the day. And this is Hunter Douglas's PowerView technology that automates all of that. Andrew already has Hunter Douglas shades, and I know he loves them. Andrew, tell us something about Hunter Douglas.
Well, just recently. Also, I love that you say you're in a temporary recording space because of whatever, but we all know it's because your wife kicked you out and you need to record in a closet because of the glitter. But I'll talk about it more in a moment, but I was just out of town. We talked about it a little bit on the last episode, and you know what I love? Is that I can have those shades still automating while I'm gone, so it looks like people are still at home. Brilliant. Like I can have lights turning on and off, and you have that extra peace of mind that your shades are moving around. Like humans are in the house, so it gives you just a little bit more security in there. You're gonna help deter anyone who's like, is that how it's stagnant? Is anyone like, we're there at the moment? Oh yeah, they must be, because their shades are opening and closing. They're clearly there living, even if we can't see them. So just another like small thing.
And you even have that cutout of Michael Jordan on the train set, probably HomeKit, going across the window. That was a Home Alone reference, in case anybody was wondering. But anyway. Okay, good.
We all understood.
So live beautifully with Hunter Douglas, enjoying greater convenience, style, and comfort in your home. Visit hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit today. You get a free Style Gets Smarter guide with fresh takes, creative ideas, and smart solutions for dressing your windows. That's hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit for your free design guide. Thank you, Hunter Douglas, for making awesome stuff and sponsoring this episode. All right, now we have you have Level Lock here. You got some news here? What you doing here?
Yeah, this is some news. It's funny because I've been working on my review of the Level Lock. So there was some renaming going on a while ago with Level. So there's the Level Bolt, which is just the dead bolt part of it that's like inside of your door that shoots in and out. There's just that. Then there's the Level Lock, which is the full hardware. So that's your internal throw as well as the outside part with the key and all of that. So that's the Level Lock. Well, it looks like I think it was like a marketing email that got sent out, because I certainly didn't get any PR email about it, but they look like they're coming out with a freaking touchpad, and I am so excited. So excited because, of course, Level Lock as well as Level Bolt are fully HomeKit compatible, and I think it said this is coming in like January, and you'll be able to unlock your keypad or your lock with a keypad. So now, like the Level Lock itself, you'll have the ability to use a key. You'll have the ability to use HomeKit and Siri, the Level app or the Home app. You'll have the keypad on the side, and you'll have the little credit card fobs that you can just touch on there to authenticate that way. Oh, and the touch sensitive surface, because the Level Lock, you can just touch it, it'll check with your phone, authenticate, and unlock that way. So there's so much to love here. And on top of that, which is weird because I haven't seen any news about this, so it makes me like a little nervous that I haven't seen it anywhere, but someone like forwarded me an email and like a link to their website that just says like keypad coming in January. So I hope it wasn't like a
No.
secret thing.
I'm on Level Lock's website right now. It's like the featured image at the top of the homepage. And
okay, good. It made me a little nervous that like I missed something and it was like under embargo until CES or something, but I like didn't have any PR. Someone just forwarded it to me on our internal team.
Yeah, so you can actually sign up for email updates. It says, I'm going to read the website now, it's Level Keypad. Honestly, this thing looks beautiful. Like, I know August has a keypad, and it's fine, but this one looks really nice. You can install anywhere near your lock. LED backlit, weatherproof design, works with Level Bolt and all Level Locks, and it says coming January 2022, so next month, and you can sign up with your email. Bro, this looks amazing. I've just decided I'm going Level Lock for the new house because of this keypad.
Yeah, and this actually brought me to like a larger thing, which is talking about August and Yale. And I am a huge August fan, but I haven't been the biggest Yale fan. And ever since Asa Abloy had bought August, things have gotten so muddy. Like there's an August app and a Yale Connect app, I believe, and they look identical, but they're somehow different. And there's like weird steps missing in setup processes. And there's like this, it doesn't feel smooth. And I wasn't sure what was, I don't know. It just seems like they've had issues since their acquisition from, just being an independent company. Like they were like the rock solid HomeKit company. And now I have had questions about it for the last like few months. But we talked about I need the keypad. Like my mother-in-law, she doesn't have a phone or anything. She needs the keypad. Like I don't want to give her a key. I want to be able to, that she has to like bring and all that. Keypad is just your best solution, and she just gets right in. And there's no HomeKit locks that have really had a keypad, like an external keypad like that. So I could keep like our existing hardware with the August on the outside, everything matched, and then we had HomeKit support and a keypad to get in. But now with this, I think I'm going to be switching over to Level Lock. I've been testing that Level Lock. I just installed it like a week ago, so I've just been playing around with it. It's so pretty. It works so well. They're very Apple-esque in everything, from like their packaging to their app. It's just minimal and it works. So I'm excited for this. The only thing that I think maybe missing, which could come, HomeKey support. That's the one thing that I want to see if they'll update. But they already have like NFC support because of those little tapping cards to get in, like your hotel key card type deals. So it could be possible for them to bring it.
Yeah.
We will have to see.
Man, this looks really, really nice. Yeah. So if you're listening to the podcast, it'll be the chapter art if you want to look at that and see what it looks like, the Level touchpad thing. But man, nice job, Level Lock.
Yeah, and if you're watching on the video, I will throw a video up. I have been, since we've gotten more people watching, we've been putting a little bit more effort into the videos. We've been putting in some extra B-roll content and some more photos and stuff of what we're talking about. Like last week's episode, we did some roundups on doorbells. You can go and actually see all of them in the video. So just a little bit more, like a little more value than just seeing Steven's face. Like I know that's a detraction from the video and more reason to listen to the podcast, but now there's a reason to watch
Very
it
good.
on top.
Very good.
So.
Okay, so now you have an out-of-town story. What is this? We have so much.
We got so much
Do you want to save it? Do you want to save it? I mean, you got a few things.
It's really short. There's not I got 2 more reviews that we're going to touch on, but out of town. So I was just in New York for this past weekend, and I did a couple of things. So one, I was terrified that I lost like my cat at home. Like I'm so worried about Oliver, because like my mother-in-law had stopped over a few times to check on the chickens and stuff and to feed the bunnies, and she was like, I didn't see Oliver anytime that I went over there. And like that made me nervous. I'm like, he always comes out and says hi. And he knows her, so he would always run out and like meow at her. So immediately all like worst case scenarios are running through my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, the automated feeder died, ran out of batteries or jammed or something, and like he's like dead in the closet. Like, of course, just worrying about everything, because and the way our cameras are placed, they're more for like intruders and not for kitty cats. So I had not seen him on the cameras at all either. And luckily my wife pulled it up, and I have one that's facing down a hallway towards a window, and she spotted him like that morning roaming through the living room. So I was like, my mind went at ease because we were able to find the cat. It was so out of character for him to not come out. So it was really weird. And I definitely felt better knowing that he was alive. He was fine, and just, must have been shy or sleeping or something. So that was the one thing. And the second thing is I'm paranoid about stuff like having like my pockets picked or leaving a bag or something behind. So as we went to New York, everything we had was like outfitted with air tags, and that also brought a lot of peace of mind. So I had one in my backpack, I had one in my luggage, and I could literally like track it as it was like going through like the airport. Like it wasn't with me, but it was like hitting the workers' phones and like tracking it as it was going through the airport, which was really neat. And I tied one to the side of my camera with one of the, I think it was just one of the Apple enclosures. And then I used the new Nomad Air Card, which has like a little holder for an AirTag that slides into your wallet. And that worked well too. So if I ever walked anywhere without it, I would get that left behind alert, or someone picked my pocket, I would get alert probably a minute later after they're halfway down the block, but I would at least know relatively quickly that it was taken away. But yeah, it definitely helped like remember where stuff was, and anytime I would leave the hotel room, getting alerts that I left like my iPad behind or my camera behind, anything like that. And the one time I ran back up to grab the camera because I thought, I'm like, oh shoot, I was going to bring the camera with me. So I ran back up and got it. So that was really neat to be able to have those in like my bags and all of my other stuff.
Very nice.
When we were out there.
Very cool. Yeah, AirTag all the things, including your Apple TV remote. There you go. Yeah. All right, and well, man, what do you want to do here? I mean, you got a bunch of stuff as the Andrew show the rest of this episode. What do you think? I
know. Well, okay, you just have to ask me questions as we go through this. This is a little bit of a follow-up from last week. It's funny, we're going to go through a kicking Eve in the shin and then talk about a review. But last week I talked about like it was my stuff was like phantomly turning on and off, and I couldn't figure out why, and I kind of pegged it down to I think it might be the E button, right? Follow up is I have not had any issues since then. And additionally, I have gotten a lot of feedback saying other people have had the same issue with their Eve button, just randomly triggering stuff. So apparently this might be a bigger issue with the Eve button. I had a few people email me some comments on the video, and I think at least 1 or 2 people on Twitter say something about it. So that seems to actually have been the issue. I feel vindicated that other people are having the same issue. And if you're looking for a button, maybe don't choose the current generation Eve button. It seems like it might be having some issues here. I did reach out to Eve for comment, but as of now, I have not heard anything back yet. So if I do hear a response from them before the next episode, I'll
Interesting. I was actually going to buy that Eve button as we were talking about the other week, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. So we'll see. Maybe they'll update that. Maybe when it gets madder. Just kidding. Okay, and then you have other reviews, another Eve thing.
So...
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this folks, is the new Eve.
Look at that.
Eve room. This is it. How spectacular! It looks the same as the last gen. There's nothing different from
Andrew,
this in the last generation Eve
you gonna pull
room.
that tab off? Yeah, I know.
It's just the screen cover. Because I hadn't photographed it yet, and I can pull it off right before I do the photos, and that way there's
Andrew, that's the kind of professional tips that we need here on the show. That's a smart idea. That's a smart idea. Smart idea. Yeah. Okay. So what'd you think about it?
Yeah. So.
Sure.
So of course the red is nice. The red. One of the biggest issues that I had with like some of these contact sensors was, especially depending on your home, was not always having like Bluetooth connectivity. So the Eve Room 2. It would connect over Bluetooth. And if you didn't have a home hub or your device nearby, you were going to be kind of out of luck in communicating with the device. And you don't have that as much with this if you have enough Thread devices to support it. So because it now supports, it's a Thread endpoint. If you have your HomePod Mini, if you've got an Eve Energy, anything that can kind of relay that Thread signal, you're good to go. The only thing, maybe this is just a me thing, I hate that it has micro USB. Yeah. And I'm not sure what Eve was kind of thinking with this product, because they did this update to include the Thread radio, which is nice. But Thread by itself is not necessarily a reason that people are going to go out and like buy an upgraded product. I'm not going to go and replace my Eve Room 2 with an Eve Room 3 just because they've added Thread. Like, it's not a compelling reason on its own to upgrade the product. But people buying it, we're heading into 2022, man, and I think it is unacceptable for a company to release a brand new product with micro USB on it. If they were going to release a new version, they should have updated it with USB-C, because by people buying this right now, if they're buying this the end of this year, beginning next year, you are committing to having a micro USB cable around for at least the next 3 or so years that you have this device. I mean, you want these things to last, and that's the point of HomeKit, is that they last for an extended period of time. They're not going to be outdated or anything, because the standard is always going to work. And by buying this product, you are just guaranteeing to have micro USB for the next several years. 3 to 5 years at least. And I think that's a problem. Like, you are committing to having that cable around just for this, for that period of time. If you're going to plug it in all the time and just leave it,
but charging,
fine. And there's nothing wrong with the product itself, but I just think that's unacceptable to release a product in essentially 2022 with micro USB. So I don't know if I'm being like particularly harsh, but I just think that it's almost like people don't even realize the ramifications of, like, right now everything's moved to Type-C, and in 2-3 years, it's even going to be more ingrained in Type-C. And that USB, micro USB cable, not only that, they don't even include a USB one in the box. It's a USB-A to micro USB. It should be at least source a new cable. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I feel similarly. I mean, I know you're like jamming on it, and I do think, because there's a lot of hubs too that still have micro USB. I think there was a recent Akara hub that had micro USB, and so it's annoying. I am, like you say, I don't think I'm going to buy anything that has that on it. I bought a recent external battery pack because we went on a trip, a couple months ago, and I was, most of those battery packs still have micro USB, and I'm like, I know it's a cost thing, I guess maybe, but it's just so frustrating. I am not doing it. I'm not going to carry a micro USB cable.
I will say I don't have any battery packs.
Yeah, I don't
that
now
use
either.
Micro USB.
Yeah.
I would for sure not have it. Yeah, because it charges so slow. It, especially for a battery pack, it makes no sense. But I have not bought any like cheap battery packs. I have a couple brands that I like, and I stick with them. And they
and especially like you said, because the Eve room, you have to charge it not often, but periodically to have like that one. Yeah,
every few months or something.
To have a micro USB cable
six
sitting
weeks or
around
so.
just for one device out of the many, many devices we all have, like, nah. Yeah, I'm with you. But how, like, performance-wise, I mean, it's just pretty similar over the last Eve room, right?
I put it into performance of like the new Eve Degree, right? Because that has Thread and it works outdoors. It's gonna be similar to that.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any like connectivity issues. It's usually pretty quick in responding when I do get new data. You can view graphs inside of the Eve app, so you can tap into like your humidity, your temperature, and your air quality in the Eve app and see it like over time. You can still adjust the display. There are buttons on the side. I have to like switch my camera view over, but there are little buttons on the side to control what's on the screen. So I can like tap this.
So like capacitive touch?
Like doing it in reverse here. Where's the button? Maybe it's because I have the screen
you don't
protector
have to
still
get
on.
fingerprints on it. Yeah, that's right.
That's probably it. Yeah, but you can just alternate what's on the display to whatever the biggest display is. Like right now, this has got humidity on there, but maybe you want to have like the temperature. You can do that. You can switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit through the Eve app. It's a good, like, I love the Eve room. I'm just really upset that they bothered doing an upgrade and then didn't
USB-C
include.
Yeah.
USB-C.
PSA companies,
it's
USB-C. It's been around a while. Maybe.
I will rake you over the coals if you send me a micro USB product in 20.
Listen, maybe just make it MagSafe.
No,
just kidding. They wouldn't do that. But anyway, or Qi charging. You know what? Qi would be good.
Honestly,
I was
Qi
actually thinking about that
wouldn't
with
be
the
bad.
Apple TV remote because I never think about charging my Apple TV remote. But when it dies, then it's like a pain in the neck because like I don't have lightning cables around my TV, and like if I'm gonna bring it to the bedroom, like that's weird. Like take it all the way across the house. So I was thinking it would almost be nice if the Apple TV remote had Qi charging. Like if you could just stick it on something, maybe MagSafe, but if it could just charge wirelessly and you could just keep it on something by the TV, have a Qi charger there, I thought that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, that's just me. All right, well, Andrew, sneak in. You got a Twinkly lights review. We talked about Twinkly a couple weeks ago about the real holiday themed lights and stuff. Andrew, every time my beard touches this microphone thing, another piece of glitter it is now embedded in this windscreen. Sorry, like I'm seeing glitter like grow on this thing because my beard. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, listeners. Okay, anyway, Andrew, tell me about the Twinkly lights.
Yeah, so these were just updated. They had a firmware update that enabled HomeKit support. So these are Wi-Fi connected smart lights that now work with HomeKit. So it was very easy to update them just by going into the Twinkly app, choosing your device, and performing a firmware update. All of a sudden, there was like an enable HomeKit icon or button in the settings of that device. You enable it, it gives you like a HomeKit pairing code that you can save to your camera roll or copy into like HomePass, and then add to HomeKit, and then you'll just choose your room, all that kind of stuff like you typically do with any HomeKit product. The update and the move into HomeKit was just seamless. It worked great. Of course, with the HomeKit Lite, you are limited in what you can do. So we've seen this with devices like LifeX, Hue, and NanoLeaf, where one product, one light, can have multiple colors. Right? Like the NanoLeaf panels, you can have like each one can be a different one. LifeX tiles, the Hue light strips with like gradients. You cannot control that part in HomeKit. HomeKit lets you choose one color and that's it. So just choose your color and that's what you're stuck with for that like setting in HomeKit. But you can get around it using like scenes and stuff. And the Twinkly app is where you can do a lot of cool things. And these are not cheap, Steven. If you want to Google while I talk, but I got the standard Twinkly lights, like your string lights. They're 250 LED bulbs. If you compare them to a standard like incandescent bulb, they're smaller. Like if you're looking at them like outside and you have like the two different types, you'll notice like the lights are slightly smaller than your standard like incandescent Christmas lights, but they are LEDs and they're full RGB. So there's like a range of whites that you can choose from. So you can match a standard white warm incandescent glow. So I can match the colors, or you can just go in full on sparkle glitter Steven face mode and have red and green stripes,
you get the
whatever
cluster
going
Is it
through
the,
it.
Sorry.
And they do
String lights. Okay, got it.
No, just the string lights. Yeah. So the cable actually connects in the middle and then it goes out to the sides. So that's how it runs. And they're fairly long. I would say I covered about 5 bushes in my front yard with these lights because they do work indoor as well as outdoor. And didn't have an issue. Covered like 5 bushes, not too intensively, but put them across there. And in the app, the Twinkly app, you can map your lights. And this is one of the single coolest smart home features that I have seen and played with, and I am beyond shocked at how well it worked. Steven, I was outside in like the daytimes when there's like the sun, and I put all these lights out. Then you go to the Twinkly app and hit map your lights, and it opens up the camera. Now there's 2 different versions. There's like a basic version, and then there is like an advanced version that requires multiple photos from multiple angles. But for outside, you're looking at it from the front, so one photo is all I use. So you like hold it up and you hit map your lights, and the lights will go off and they'll start like flashing. And when it's done, it like something goes over the screen, and then you see your lights. It creates like a 3D map of your lights. And I was like, I can barely see these lights, and yet it was able to figure out where the heck they were. And I was shocked that it was able to figure it out. So here is, Steven, for you. Here's like my bushes that I was
I see.
trying to map. Yeah, trying, maybe if my camera will focus. So those are them. Like that's like more or less daytime. And I scanned it with the app, and it gave me this photo first, where it's able to, oh, man, webcams, they're great. Okay, so there is like the little dots where it detected them, and then from there, it gives you this, like a 3D layout of your lights. So you can paint your lights on. So you can, all the effects can be directional. So like there's a snowfall effect, and like white will come down from the top and like land on your bushes. Like glitter from your beard. Like it just can like come down from the top, where you can do stripes and they'll go across. And there's enough lights that you can actually see these different effects going on. So imagine if you put it on your Christmas tree, and then you mapped it 3D to your Christmas tree. You can have like something like spiral down your tree. It is nuts. Like the way that they were able to map these just by using your camera and like detecting those lights, I was very surprised. I'm like, I can barely see these lights on the outside, and yet the camera was able to pick them up and map them all together and figure out like which way it was going. And then you have these animated effects that'll like move down it. It was really cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking at on
really
Amazon.
expensive.
These are the Twinkly. The 600 light string is $230. They do have a 250 LED string for 120, and there's also a 400 for 125. I don't know how that makes sense. But then they also have like there's the multicolor RGB. They also have a gold edition where it's basically just white to gold colors, and they also have another special RGB plus white light string, and there's different prices for that. But you're talking $120 to $200 depending on how many lights you want to get for the strings.
Yeah, compared to like
this is super
15,
cheap.
$20 for some cheap incandescent lights. But you have all this smart control. So you, of course, it's HomeKit, so you can control them with Siri, you can schedule them, you do all that kind of fun stuff. But it's a lot to justify for a price because, just turning on and off, you can go with, a smart switch. You can get a $20, $50 HomeKit outdoor plug, do it that way. So as we get into like something like this, it's honestly just shocking what they were able to build in for that price. It's almost like it was like, I don't want to say like over-engineered, but they really need to make up some ground for that price point. But they do feel like a premium product. They do have that water resistance. They work indoor, outdoor. I think 250 is a good amount of lights on a strip. And these effects are pretty darn incredible. Like, I was very impressed
that
with
is pretty
how
cool.
well
do they
work.
tangle any less than the cheapo lights? I mean, for that cost, I didn't know if that'd be a selling feature.
I don't...
Okay,
yes and no, because so one, they're still like lights, but the cords are a little bit thinner, I think, than a regular light, like a string light would be. But they also come with like cable ties, like Velcro cable ties, and they're in 2 different strands. So even though it's like one long strand, it's split in the middle, so you can like bundle them up into 2 different strands, and they have their own cable ties that you can wrap around them, which I think is nice. You don't get that crap with your normal cheap ones, so it's like a little extra touch for these compared to other ones. But I wouldn't say they're like gonna magically not tangle. The lights still stick out. Like, you got your cord, and then you got a light that sticks out of it. Just like a regular light strip.
Okay. Well, that is all very cool. I'll put a link to the lights that Andrew's talking about, Twinkly, in show notes. And, next year, when I actually have my own house, I might get that. That's pretty cool mapping features for sure. So, listeners, you have been continuing to send us questions. Thank you for doing that. Keep them coming. We're going to do an all-listener question episode coming very soon. We will get back to our HomeKit category segments soon as well. But there's just been a ton of news and products coming out this end of the year. So thank you all. You can keep subscribing to the HomeKit Insider YouTube channel, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. Because of you, again, Beard Glitter, and I hope you enjoy the slow-mo version of that. If you didn't see it, we'll put it somewhere, wherever that is. It'll be on the internet. Don't worry. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, we'd greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. There's been several of you doing that, like multiple, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you have a HomeKit question, just ask it in the review. If you don't know what to write, this way you can just give us 5 stars, ask your question there. We have all the reviews. They're in our massive listener question episode. We have them in our note here. So thank you all for doing that. And yeah, thanks all for listening. We'll catch you next time.